The first letter arrived on a cold morning. Mrs. Carter opened her mailbox and froze. The envelope was thin and gray. The paper looked old. Her hands shook as she read the return address, State Prison. Her heart beat fast. She had not received a letter in years, not since the night her son, Daniel Carter, never came home. She opened it slowly. Inside was a neat page written in dark ink. The first line made her drop the letter. I am the man who took your son. I am sorry. I think about him every day. Mrs. Carter screamed. Across the city, in another home, Mr. and Mrs. Lopez opened their own mail. Their daughter, Emily, had vanished 3 years ago. Their letter said the same thing. I am the man who took your daughter. I am sorry. I want you to know the truth. More letters were being opened. More families were crying. The same prisoner had written to all of them. And now the police were racing to stop him before the next letter was delivered. But the most shocking part? One of the letters said, I know something no one else knows, and I am ready to tell it. Now let me take you back to the beginning, long before the letters, long before the prison walls, long before the families knew the name Michael Harris. Michael Harris grew up in a small town in Ohio. He was quiet, too quiet. He had brown hair, pale skin, and eyes that never seemed to blink. Kids at school said he stared too much. Teachers said he was smart, but strange. He lived with his mother in a small blue house near the train tracks. His father left when he was 5 years old and never came back. Michael liked to be alone. He liked to write. He filled notebooks with stories, dark stories, stories about people getting lost and never being found. When he was 16, a boy from his school went missing. The town searched for weeks. They never found the boy. Michael watched the search from his bedroom window, and he smiled. Years passed. Michael moved to Chicago. He got a job as a delivery driver. He drove a white van and wore a blue jacket. People trusted him. Parents waved when he passed. Kids asked for candy. Neighbors said he was polite. Then the disappearances started. First was Daniel Carter. Daniel was 12 years old. He loved basketball and video games. One afternoon, he stayed late at the park. His mom waited at home. Dinner got cold. Night came. Daniel never did. Police searched the park. They found his bike near the swings. The chain was broken. There was no blood, no notes, no clues. The town was scared. Then Emily Lopez vanished. She was 10 years old. She walked home from school with her friend. At the corner, she waved goodbye and crossed the street. She never reached the other side. A neighbor said she saw a white van slow down. The driver asked Emily for directions. Then the van drove away. Emily was gone. More kids disappeared. The city went quiet. Parents walked their children to school. Parks became empty. No one stayed out late. The police worked night and day. And then one night, they found a van. It was parked behind an old warehouse. The door was open. Inside, they found notebooks, hundreds of pages, stories, dark stories, stories about children who vanished, stories about families who cried, stories written by a man named Michael Harris. The police traced the van. They followed the license plate. They knocked on Michael's door. He answered with a calm face. He did not run. He did not fight. He only said, "You found me." Inside his house, they found more notebooks, drawings, maps, names. Daniel Carter, Emily Lopez, and others. Michael Harris was arrested that night. The city felt relief. The monster was caught, or so they thought. At the trial, Michael said nothing. He stared at the families. He smiled at the parents.
The judge sentenced him to life in prison. No parole, no release. The families cried. Some felt peace, some felt only pain. Michael was taken away in chains. The prison doors closed behind him, and the world tried to forget his name. For 3 years, no one heard from Michael Harris, until the letters came. The first family thought it was a cruel joke. The second family called the police. By the 5th letter, the city was in panic. The letters were real. They all had the same handwriting. They all had the same message. I am sorry. I think about them every day. I want you to know the truth. Detective James Walker was given the case. He was tall, with gray hair and tired eyes. He had worked on the disappearances years ago. He remembered every face. He read the letters in silence. His jaw tightened. "He's playing a game," Walker said. "He wants attention." But then he read the last line of one letter. "There is one child you never found. I know where they are." Walker stood up fast. "Get me the prison phone records, now," he said. They rushed to the prison. Michael Harris was sitting in his cell, writing. The guard opened the door. Michael looked up and smiled. "Did you like my letters?" he asked. Walker slammed the file on the table. "Why are you doing this?" Walker asked. Michael leaned back. "Because they deserve to know," he said. "And because I am tired of being quiet." "Know what?" Walker asked. Michael folded his hands. "The truth," he said. Walker felt cold. "What truth?" he asked. Michael's eyes shined. "There is one child," Michael said softly, "that no one ever knew about." Walker stepped closer. "What child?" he asked. Michael looked straight at him. "A girl named Lily." Walker froze. There was no Lily in the files, no missing report, no record. Michael smiled wider. "She was my first," he said. Walker's heart pounded. "Where is she?" he asked. Michael leaned forward. "I'll tell you," he said, "but only if you deliver my next letter yourself." Walker shook his head. "You don't get to make deals," he said. Michael laughed. "You already made one," he said. "You came here." Walker left the prison shaking. That night, another family received a letter. This one was different. This one had a photo inside. A small girl, brown hair, big eyes. On the back, one word was written: Lily. The parents in the photo were still alive. They had no idea their daughter had ever been taken. Until now. The police rushed to their house. They were too late. The family was gone, and on their kitchen table was a new letter, written in dark ink, from Michael Harris. It said, "I told you I was ready to tell the truth, but now you must hurry." And beneath that sentence was a map with a red circle drawn around one place, an old farm outside the city. Detective Walker stared at it. His hands were shaking, because he knew one thing for sure. Whatever waited at that farm was going to change everything.
Detective James Walker stood over the kitchen table, staring at the map. The red circle looked like a wound on the paper. An old farm outside the city, abandoned, quiet, forgotten. Walker folded the letter and placed it into an evidence bag. His hands were steady, but his heart was not. Outside the house, police cars filled the street. Red and blue lights flashed against the walls. Neighbors stood on their porches, whispering. Inside the house, Lily's parents were gone. No broken windows, no blood, no struggle. Just empty rooms and a letter from a man already in prison. Walker spoke into his radio. "Send units to the farm, now." The engine started. The cars moved fast. The road to the farm was long and narrow. Trees lined both sides. The sun was going down, and shadows stretched across the ground like dark fingers. Walker sat in the front seat, staring straight ahead. He remembered the other cases. Daniel, Emily, the others. He had promised their families he would never stop looking. Now another child was missing, and this one had been taken while the monster was already behind bars. The cars turned onto a dirt road. Dust filled the air. At the end of the road stood the farm. The house leaned to one side. The paint was peeling. The barn door hung open. It looked empty. Too empty. The police moved in slowly, guns ready, flashlights on. Walker stepped onto the porch. The wood creaked under his boots. He pushed the door open. The smell hit him first. Old hay, rust, something sour. The house was dark. They searched every room. Nothing. Then one officer shouted from the barn, "Detective, you need to see this." Walker ran. Inside the barn, they found a trap door under a pile of hay. It was locked. They broke it open. A ladder led down into the ground. The air below was cold. Walker climbed down first. At the bottom was a small room, a chair, a table, chains on the wall, and drawings, children's drawings. On the table lay a small shoe, pink, tiny. Walker picked it up. His throat tightened. "This is Lily's," he said. They searched the room. No child, no body, only a note pinned to the wall, written in dark ink. "You are getting closer." Walker slammed his fist into the wall. Back at the station, the news spread fast. The prisoner who wrote letters to his victims' families had done it again, even from behind bars. The city was afraid. Parents held their children tighter. Schools closed early. Parks were empty again. And then Michael Harris asked for another meeting. Walker didn't want to go, but he had no choice. The prison was cold and loud. Doors slammed. Guards watched every step. Michael sat in the same chair as before, smiling. "Did you like the farm?" Michael asked. Walker stayed standing. "Where is Lily?" he said. Michael tilted his head. "She's safe, for now." "You're lying," Walker said. Michael shrugged. "I write letters. I tell stories. But sometimes stories are true." Walker placed the pink shoe on the table. Michael's eyes lit up. "You found her room," he said softly. "Where is she?" Walker demanded. Michael leaned back. "Do you know why I write to the families?" he asked. Walker didn't answer. Michael continued. "Because they deserve to hear it from me, not from the news, not from rumors, from me." "You enjoy hurting them," Walker said. Michael shook his head. "No," he said. "I enjoy being remembered." Walker stepped closer. "You're not in control anymore. You're in a cage." Michael smiled. "And yet," he said, "you came back." That night, another letter arrived. This one went to Mrs. Carter, Daniel's mother. She opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a drawing, a park, a boy on a swing, and words written below. Daniel was brave. Mrs. Carter collapsed to the floor. The city exploded. News cameras filled the streets, reporters shouting questions. How was he doing this? Is anyone safe? Will he strike again? The mayor demanded answers. Walker had none. Then a guard came running. "Detective, you need to see this." They rushed to the prison mailroom. A stack of letters lay on the table, all written by Michael, all ready to be sent. Different families, different cities, different states. Michael wasn't stopping. He was just getting started. Walker went back to the cell. Michael was calm, almost happy. "You're enjoying this," Walker said. Michael nodded.
"They listen now," he said. "They didn't listen before." Walker stared at him. "Who's helping you?" he asked. Michael laughed. "I'm not alone," he said. Walker's blood went cold. "What do you mean?" he asked. Michael leaned forward. "There are others," he whispered. "People who believe in my stories." Walker stepped back. The guard grabbed Michael. "Time's up," he said. As they pulled Michael away, he shouted, "Check the lake!" Walker froze. "What lake?" he yelled, but Michael was already gone. The police rushed to every lake in the county. Hours passed. Then a call came in. A fisherman had found something floating near the shore. A small backpack. Inside was a notebook. On the first page, written in children's handwriting, was one word: help. Walker ran to the lake. Divers searched the water. The sun was rising. The crowd grew. Then one diver came up holding something. A small pink jacket, the same color as Lily's shoe. Walker closed his eyes. But before anyone could say a word, another officer ran over. "Detective, we just got a call from Lily's house." Walker turned. "What about it?" he asked. The officer swallowed. "A neighbor says they saw Lily at the window 10 minutes ago." Walker's heart stopped. How is that possible? Lily was missing. The house was empty. And yet, someone was watching from inside. And whoever it was waiting for them to come inside.
Grand Central Station was loud. Trains roared in and out. People rushed past each other. Voices echoed through the huge hall. Thousands of faces, thousands of footsteps, and somewhere in that moving crowd was Lily. Detective James Walker ran through the doors, his eyes scanning every corner. "Lock the exits," he shouted into his radio. "Search every platform, every train." Police spread out fast. Officers pushed through crowds. Dogs sniffed bags. Helicopters circled above. Walker pulled out his phone and stared at Livy's picture. Small, brown hair, pink jacket. Too easy to lose. He ran toward the main hall. Then he saw it. A pink ribbon tied to a railing. Lily's ribbon. Walker followed it, past ticket booths, past food stands, down a long hallway. At the end stood a man in a black coat, tall, thin, holding a little girl's hand. Walker raised his gun. "Stop right there!" he shouted. The man turned. It was Officer Ray. Lily stood beside him, her face pale. Ray smiled. "You found me," he said. "Let her go," Walker said. Ray tightened his grip on Lily's hand. "She's part of the story now," he said. "Michael promised." Walker stepped closer. "Michael is using you. He always does." Ray shook his head. "He made me feel important," he said. "He said the world would remember us." Lily started crying. Walker lowered his gun slowly. "Ray, listen to me," he said. "You can still fix this." Ray looked down at Lily. His hand shook, and for one moment, he let go. Walker grabbed Lily and pulled her behind him. Ray panicked. He ran. Officers chased him. Ray jumped onto the tracks. A train horn blasted. Too late. The train hit Ray. Silence followed. Walker held Lily tight. She was shaking. "It's over," he whispered. "You're safe now." But Michael Harris was still alive, still smiling. Walker visited him one last time. Michael looked calm. "Did she enjoy the station?" he asked. Walker stared at him. "She's free," he said. "Your story is over." Michael shook his head. "No," he said. "My story lives in every letter." Walker stood. "You'll never hurt anyone again." Michael smiled. "They will always remember me." The letters stopped. The city slowly healed. Lily went home. Families found peace. But the letters still stayed, locked away, a reminder of the prisoner who wrote to his victims' families and the monster who wanted to be remembered.